You said pain was its wrapping paper. I feel like that is worth marinating on because some of us don't get past the wrapping paper. I've never had a gift that I thought was so beautiful that I don't want to open it. But I have had some
Hmm.
issues in my life that felt so painful that it felt like there was nothing that could come from the inside of it. But the paradigm of pain being wrapping paper and us daring to do the work to navigate the pain to figure out what's inside of it feels like a journey that each of us should be willing to take. But tearing that wrapping paper over open is almost more painful than the incident itself. How do you get to a
Yes.
space where you're willing to say, okay, if pain is a wrapping paper, how do I carefully? My husband always, when he opens presents, he never rips it open because when he was growing up, they reused wrapping paper, and so like he opens it very carefully so that he can preserve the wrapping paper. I
Yeah.
feel like that is kind of how we're going to have to navigate pain being the
Mhm.
wrapping paper. How do we gently begin to tear open that pain so that we can figure out the purpose connected to it?
I think it starts with, I mean, honestly, the reason why I wrote the book is because just the awareness that rejection is a gift in and of itself is a paradigm
Mm.
shift. Because what that does is it puts you in a different posture from where at first you would see yourself as, I'm a victim, this thing happened to me, I'll never get through it, I'll never get over it. But now that you recognize, oh wait, there's a gift in this, it places you in the posture of a student, which is,
Mm.
okay, what can this teach me about myself? What can this teach me about other people? What is it that God may want to work through this situation for my good? I believe that rejection is a gift that will make you better if you open it or bitter if you don't. And many people are walking around bitter because, like you said, we stop at the wrapping paper. And I
Yeah.
think having that just thought, like, okay, this hurts, and there's also something that I need to learn from this. What is the lesson? That's how you start to slowly peel it back and begin to explore what it wants to teach you.
Okay, so I have a question for you because I think when we think about rejection, we're generally thinking about us being on the receiving end of rejection. But I want to talk a little bit about the reality that in order for us to have boundaries, in order for us to lead, in order for us to have self care, we have to reject certain
Absolutely.
people, certain things. That to me is another gift of rejection, is what
Mm-hmm.
you get to hang on to
Mm-hmm.
when you dare to reject other people's expectations, other people's
Yeah.
needs in an effort to protect yourself. Has this paradigm changed the way that you handle the reality of rejecting other people? Do you think it's fair to say that when we set boundaries, we're rejecting other people? Let me start there.
I think that's actually a really important insight, which is yes. Rejection is ultimately what we do when we say no to the
Yeah.
demand that somebody placed on us. And sometimes rejection is necessary. It's a gift to us, but it's also a gift to the other person. And I'll frame it this way. I'm sure you understand this. There are people who see your success, my success, somebody else's success as an opportunity to build their empire on what God has built through you. Now, once you become aware of that, it is important that you place a boundary between you and that person, because otherwise that person will actually kind of absorb the glory that God has for your life for their self, and that will actually damage their character. And I think as leaders, one of the responsibilities that we have is to help people grow in character. So if somebody is like, I believe that I'm more qualified than you know they are, it's important to say no because there's some learning and growth and development they have to do. Now, for the other person who's experiencing that, of course that's painful, right? Like it's painful to have somebody close a door for you, but they're closing the door because they know that there's more growth needed. And so there's a gift in that rejection for you as an individual to have somebody close the door because you're not ready to walk through it yet. There's a gift in that. And so, again, having that as like the thought paradigm, it becomes a learning opportunity on both sides of the experience.